So today I am here with some really special guests here at Montana Fire Pit's headquarters. The reason why I'm bringing Jonathan and Amy Howie together to ask them questions is sort of a celebration of 10 years of Montana Fire Pits. So we kind of just finished 10 years of existence, and this is sort of a deep dive into the origins, what's next for Montana Fire Pits, and what we all love about it. So I'm going to start with you, Amy. Go ahead and introduce yourself. Tell us something about you.
Oh, man. I'm Amy Howie.
Interesting.
Interesting. I have lots of interesting things. Jonathan would always refer to me as a reluctant entrepreneur because I was a teacher for 13 years before being a business owner along with Jonathan. And I will have to say, because most importantly, well, not most importantly, but one of the biggest things is I'm an outdoor enthusiast. So anything outdoors, I love.
Sounds about right. Yep. Jonathan Howie, born and raised in the Midwest, 20 years in Colorado, 10 years so far in Montana, always in business my entire career now of 30 years. Always in some aspect of construction and design, and also everything outdoors and mountains. The mountains are calling, and I must go.
One of the first questions I want to ask is, how has your business evolved over the past 10 years?
We moved to Montana. And I'll be fairly transparent. We moved to Montana with nothing. We had sold many of our possessions. We had two small girls with us at the time. They were 7 and 5. Moved away from Denver. Had found ourselves here in Missoula, Montana, and did not have any intention of coming here to start a business. But beings that I've always been entrepreneurial and always in business and always in construction, the idea came.
Well, so you had a job coming here. It was kind of a part-time thing.
Yeah,
and of
it was
course,
a part-time job.
You being the entrepreneur you are, had to start a business about day 2 of being in Missoula.
Correct, yeah, because I knew that we needed something to supplement the income in the long run. Okay, so basically it started with, I had built one gas fire pit in Denver. That's kind of the origin story. 10 years ago, that would have been 13, 14, gas fire pits were really kind of new, novelty. I'd built one, came here, and I literally just asked you the question, I wonder if anyone is building fire pits in Montana. A quick Google search for the domain yielded 0 results, right? So if the .com is available, that means really, in this day and age, if the .com is available, nobody's doing your thing. And miraculously, MontanaFirePits.com was available, and we spent $12 on it. And that's still the domain.
So you'd say that's a good investment, huh?
It's worked out okay. Yep.
Amy, I'm going to ask this to you because you were sort of on the outside looking in the early days, because it was just kind of Jonathan. But what were the early days like?
Well, the early days, it was just a side gig. And honestly, it wasn't much of anything because Jonathan was in construction. He was kind of a general contractor and doing odd jobs. And it was like, on the side, let's see if we can sling a few burners, because what we did was Jonathan found the first vendor that we are still using, which is
still Warming Trends, the Crossfire Burner.
And so his intentions were really just to sell burners after you built maybe 1 or 2 and thought, nah.
Yeah.
So anyway, it was a side gig.
He was straight side hustle.
Yeah, he was
and with no sort of end in sight. And it was really just, man, I wonder if anybody's even going to buy it. I wonder if there's a market. I wonder if we can buy it. I started with a free website that I built myself, and you just sort of hang your online shingle. And then I didn't even know the components were called burners. I didn't know anything about what I had intended to do. I reserved the domain name, and beyond that, there was no business plan.
No, it was just you trying to, like, let me put together a website and see how it goes, right?
Yeah.
And I remember, like, him and I both didn't think about really anything when it came to Montana Fire Pits. It was like, this is a website, let's see what it does.
Yeah.
The only thing that you did do is we had to scrounge up our money and save up for the one burner that we bought to make some videos, some homegrown YouTube videos that we made in a friend's backyard.
That's right.
And again, leave it at that. And so it was just kind of in the background. And the cool thing is both of us never forget, as far as an online sale, we were driving to Oregon and Washington coast. And I remember his phone made a interesting noise. We're like, what the heck was that?
At the time, Shopify was our platform.
Yeah. And it made
it cha-ching.
It made
cha-ching,
the cha-ching.
whenever
And
you
we're
got
like, what's that? And he looks on his phone and he's like, we just sold something without talking to anybody?
Yeah. It was a miracle. And that was 2 years into it.
Right. So
at
again,
least.
totally in the background.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
wham, bam, boom. That was one. And it just kind of kept coming.
And then it was just a series of just keep taking steps forward. There was no science to it. There was just hustle and determination and persistence, but still in the background. So and just consistency.
And figure it out as we go.
Figure it out.
We're like,
as you
what
go.
do we do now? Okay, let's figure this out. Is one step at a time. And
which I think the takeaway for any entrepreneur is you still never stop figuring it out as you go. There's always that element, I think, to small business that you can't see the future. So therefore, your next step is determined by the step you just took, if that makes sense. And it's been that way for 10 years and will continue.
Okay, I'm going to let either one of you take this first, but feel free to discuss. Tell us some of the biggest obstacles that you've overcame, like finding skilled labor, sourcing materials, economic downturns, competition. What kind of obstacles?
well, I'll start with the first one, which we thought our business was done for, and that was COVID.
Yeah. Yep.
So there was a point where we were like, all right, that was a good run.
That was a good run, yeah.
I think I had quit my teaching job, and I'd been working with you for maybe a year and a half, right? Year and a half, 2 years.
And so we had officially started really in the beginning of 2015, 2020. So 5 years, but it was a functioning, successful online business with just the two of us.
Right, because I think I came on in 2018.
Yeah. Yes. So it was just the two of us from home through the first 5 years. And COVID happened. And yeah, like you said, we thought it was a great run. We thought, geez, okay.
I think we had 2 weeks of like zero
Nothing.
sales. And we're like, oh,
You're like,
all
there
right,
it is.
That was fun. Let's think of the next thing we're going to do. And then we kind of blew up.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden it just sort of started coming more.
Well, everyone was at home with nothing to do, extra money.
Right, and the same money, right? Everybody was just sent home.
Right.
So, yeah. And stuck at home now, the people were, well, we might as well renovate the backyard.
We're going to be spending time together.
And we might as well look at a fire pit.
Right.
So
that was kind of one interesting thing.
that was a challenge, yep.
Didn't become a challenge.
Another challenge has always been like making sure that even though you can't project your systems too far into the future because you just don't know how big you're going to be, finding the right software, finding the right ability to scale everything into the future while keeping overhead low, while keeping it simple, while not outsourcing to a bunch of strangers. Like, all of that is just sort of an ongoing challenge, or has been. And now we've overcome a lot of that.
For sure. I think a challenge with any business, but one that we really run into a lot, is just R&D. Because anytime we design or do something new, we're always like, oh, okay, we got this issue now, and we got to work through this issue, and we got to, sometimes take a few steps back, and that's fine. But I think that's been a challenge because we seem to be the trendsetter in fire pits, and we're designing the newest, the latest stuff that's not out there.
We're trying to stay ahead of the entire trend.
That means we don't have anybody to learn from. We don't have. We're learning on our own, and in fact, we're teaching other people. So
there's a joke that I say is that because I'm the chief designer of these new fire features, right? That I have literally reached the end of the internet when you can search for clever fire table designs, right? We've exhausted all of them. So it is almost that we are pioneering and engineering largely what we consider the best outdoor fire feature available. Yeah. And that's a challenge.
It's a challenge. And we're constantly trying to live up to it. And we never want to lower our standards or, do anything subpar. I know we have challenges, but we've found such great people to work with. I don't think that's been a challenge. Anytime we are looking for a new position to fill, we find great people. Yeah. Skilled people. I mean,
it is, it's the beginning of 2025. So just in the last, COVID was only 4 years ago, right? It seems like an eternity, but it also seems like it's flown by. In that 4 years, we have gone from the two of us in a spare bedroom to now 2 facilities, 17 full-time employees, fabrication from beginning to end, shipping, a fully functioning e-commerce, all of the things, the things.
And I guess we could call it challenging, but it's not challenging. It's just complex. Every time
it's complex,
we grow, we keep growing, and it's complex. And
here's the thing: there's no such thing as not having a challenge. If you don't have a challenge anywhere ever, then you're not doing anything right, and you're boring.
We're far from that.
This ain't boring.
Which brings me to, tell us about the culture here at Montana Fire Pits and what you like about it and how you've built it.
It's super cliche, but if you do what you love, then you don't work a day in your life. If you surround yourself with good people, then there's collaboration and there's teamwork and there's creativity and there's all of the things, and everybody has fun, but we work hard and we have families, and we're just, I don't know, it's just this very blue collar homegrown feel that you and I have both grown up with, this work ethic, but also now we're able to just surround ourselves with people who want that same thing. Work hard, play hard, have fun, be serious, get work done.
Yeah. I mean, I think our culture is my absolute favorite thing about our company. But I also manage all the people, and that's my job, to make it fun. But besides having fun, because I do think we all have fun, everyone is here to just do their job, and they do it well. Yeah. And there's just there's a lot of trust, I feel like, in our team, that trusting everyone's abilities and everyone to do their job to the best of their ability. And then obviously we come together and we work so well together. In fact, just the vibe at the 2 different facilities we have, of everybody coming together and talking through things and coming up with solutions if need be, but also just looking into the future. It's just amazing. It's just there's not a day that goes by where we're not working towards the same goal, and it's amazing.
I will say this, from our perspective, we spend a lot of time on our org chart, making sure that the right people are in the right place, doing the right thing at the right time. That's a little cliche, but we spend a lot of time on that. So much so that an outside consultant that we have used for several years helps us in that. That's never without challenge, right? But that also is what has built us into something great, and we'll continue on.
So what advice would you give to aspiring entrepreneurs who would face similar challenges? Just maybe one piece of advice you'd give.
Consistency. Consistency in your efforts. You cannot get that analysis paralysis. You can't get locked up in the idea of something. There's absolutely no substitution for taking action. Constantly taking action. Whether it is right or wrong, planned or unplanned, you just have to make things happen, because not one single person is going to make anything happen for you.
I really like how you say consistency, though, because that's something that I think you and I struggled with, especially in the beginning, is bringing order to things, but maintaining that consistency with those orders and those systems. We put a lot of things in place, but if you're not consistent with those things you put in place, they're worthless. So, yeah, that would be absolutely the biggest key, is being consistent with everything, policies, with, the way you treat people, with our work ethic, whatever it is, consistent.
And I would say this too, as an entrepreneur. You cannot chase the money. You just can't, right? You have to pursue excellence in business, basic business principles that are foundational. And I still tell our people that stuff all the time, that we're still building a foundation even 10 years into it, because you can always strengthen it. So I think if you just go into anything with just understanding and building sort of non-negotiable business principles, then that's a good start.
How about looking ahead? What are some of the future goals, aspirations for Montana Fire Pits? Any new exciting products or visionary things coming soon that we could get excited about?
The future for Montana Fire Pits is that we are, and we will continue to be, the leader in producing the finest outdoor gas fire features available in the United States. The future also is to enhance our sort of business-to-business offerings, to eventually have a true dealer network to where we can partner with some incredible retailers. Not quite there yet, but that's definitely the future. To always be designing better, newer fire features. To continue to focus with excellence on our marketing, our photos, our videography, our brand, and to continue to manufacture as much as we can in-house here in Missoula, and ship all over the country. So, tiny vision.
From Jonathan's, that's his visionary stance. I'm the operations. So when I think about growth and I think about where we want to be, man, I am so excited to just continue to grow our systems, and it's going to look a lot different, especially if we keep growing and we grow into a new facility. And I'm just excited for what that looks like on the operational level, that we're going to be more efficient. I think a lot of people don't realize we are a small company. And it's kind of shocking when you know what gets sent out versus where we are and how small of a group we are, how small our facilities are. But what that's going to look like in the future is going to be really different, and it's exciting.
There is an ongoing sort of joke, and that is that customers still ask if we're actually located in Montana. And the answer has always been, well, yes. It's not just a clever name, right? We are based right here in Missoula, Montana. And every unit that we produce, designed, cut, assembled, and finished by hand by our people.
Right.
Created by us. Shipped out by us. It's a pretty amazing thing.
And how would you say that Montana has influenced the business decisions and products? And is there a strong made in Montana appeal?
Yes. Oh my gosh, yes.
Montana is such an amazing state, and everyone is very proud to be from Montana, anything made in Montana. So, as a whole, this state is incredibly proud of what we produce, and so are we. I mean, it's pretty amazing. People really do kind of look for that made in Montana.
We knew it was going somewhere fairly early on because it just worked. It just worked, and we were surprised by that. And every little win meant something. Even if it was selling some small unit for the first time to a total stranger, that's a win. That's a huge win. And even every single order that comes across our site, we still get those emails, and every single order is still a win.
And every single order we are so grateful for. Jonathan and I will never take for granted any order that comes through, because there was a time when that first order came through and we were so excited, and we thought, what if we got one order a month? And we were so excited. And that happened. And then we're like, well, what if we got one a week and then one a day? And so I guess to our customers, we are thankful for every single order. We don't take any of that for granted. I think that's what has built us to the business that we are. Right.
When I get those emails, I look at what was ordered, the details of the order. What's fun for me is I scroll to the bottom right so I can see where it's going to. Where did you order it from?
Right.
Minnesota,
what state
New
are
Hampshire,
we sending it to
Connecticut,
now?
Florida, Texas. It's still fascinating to me. What did you order? Is it a complete system? Is it burner? Is it a log set? Is it lava pebbles? Is it accessories? It still is this kind of little charge every single time. And I think that that's fascinating now after last year. I think we did just over 2,000 individual orders. And multiply that by at least, 5-6 years, that's a lot of fires burning across the U.S. that we've had a hand in. I still get a thrill out of that.
Yeah. It is interesting that when I first started working with you on Montana Fire Pits, I don't know if I was like, oh, yes, this is my calling. But you and I have always worked together since we got married. We
20 years now.
Yeah, we patented a product that we desperately tried to sell, and we did a lot of...
never saw the light of day.
No. We did a lot of things, and you and I just work well together.
Yeah.
And so it's interesting that when you told me it was time for me to come work with you because you couldn't handle everything that was coming through, it was a no-brainer. Even though this wasn't my calling per se, I absolutely love being a business owner with you.
Yeah.
I think we make a great team. We have very different skills, and we have very different personalities, and our team knows that.
Very different, and we approach the business the same foundationally, but day to day we approach things very differently,
right.
and
sometimes
take care of completely opposite sides of this business.
And sometimes we don't even see each other throughout the day.
Yeah.
But I never ever get sick of running this business with you.
Yeah.
So
it's fun.
It's fun.
It's extremely unique. I think.
Right. And then the other thing that I know I've kind of shared this before, but I think what gives me so much energy too is just how we work with our team. That gives me energy. I can't believe what has been built with such great people, and then how we get to serve our customers.
It's an incredible blessing to start, right? It's this entrepreneurial dream, and the first thing you ever hope to do is just make a few bucks. And then maybe you hope to just replace a salary so that you're working on it. And now 10 years into it, we're making decisions to hire people and to give people a good, solid working wage and upward mobility and professional development. Like it's a thrill, and it's our greatest blessing to be able to give jobs to other people that would never in a million years.
Because that's what we wanted when we came here. Just please give us a job.
Yep. We just got to install one for very close friends here in Missoula, that they did a whole outdoor renovation, and they have this perfect flagstone patio, and they put one of our big yellow stone fire tables on it. And it's kind of a joke. Like, your dynamic is going to change once you have this fire feature outside. And that's not out of arrogance at all. It's a fact, right? That fire brings people together. Fire brings your family together. There's something about sitting around it and staring into it, and then you find yourself not looking at your phone. You find yourself conversating with people, and I just think it's fascinating that, you know, there's life before and there's life after.
We're very relational people, and I think if we're going to build any business, it better be building businesses around relationships and building those relationships and making memories and all of the stuff that we love to do. So thank goodness. I ran across a sticker today that I put in a little shipment that I sent off, and it said, "Be the light." Oh, yeah. I love all of our taglines that we've had along the way too. Be the light. You know, "Be the light" was one of my favorites, but we also had the one of making your... What was the one about making your
family proud and your friends jealous?
Yeah. Neighbors. Your neighbors.
Making your family proud and your neighbors jealous.
That one was my favorite.
Well, it sounds like you both love what you're doing and you love your business, and that's what most people want to be able to talk about, is how much they love what they do. And so thanks for sharing a little glimpse into your day-to-day lives, your past, your dreams for the future, and I'm sure people will enjoy listening to this and sort of gleanings from some of your wisdom. But all that to say, thanks for all those who have listened and been intrigued by Montana Fire Pits, the journey, past 10 years, 10 years to come, 10, 20, 30, who knows? It doesn't have to be an end. But until next time, thanks everyone for listening, and we'll see you around the fire.